I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a few days since I've been live, but I wanted to do this topic, okay? Because I think that this is going to help a lot of you guys get clarity. A lot of you ladies that are on the journey of healing your womb. And because I hear a lot of people, women say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, but I'm not seeing success. I'm not seeing a difference. The fibroids are still there. The endometriosis is still present. You know, my periods are still horrible. So I wanted to talk about this topic. Are you actually healing your womb, or are you just performing wellness? Because what a lot of women need to understand is that both are different. It's not the same thing. So we're gonna talk about it today. All right. If you're dealing with fibroids, if you're on a journey of womb healing, this is going to be a really extremely beneficial. Tag somebody. If you're watching from YouTube, be sure to share this with somebody you know that's on a journey of healing their womb. Click the thumbs up button if you're coming in from YouTube. If you're coming in from TikTok, tap on that screen. So I have a question for you. This is a question that you can ask yourself. You can maybe go down. You can think about your regimen. Okay, what you're actually doing and what you're actually putting into place, and ask yourself whether you're actually moving the needle and healing your womb, or are you just performing wellness? Okay, so I want to break that down, what that actually means. Like, what does it mean performing wellness? What does that actually mean? And what does that look like? And I actually want to give you guys the difference between actually healing your womb and, again, just performing wellness, just doing a whole bunch of, because we live in a time now that, well, health and wellness is very popular. Health and wellness is very popular, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but people kind of get lost in the gimmicks and not really actually real health, okay? There's a difference, and that's something you have to know, okay? So if you're watching, for those that are new, hi and welcome. If you're watching me for the first time, hi and welcome. My name is Sasha, okay? I'm a holistic womb specialist. I partner with women to help them dissolve their fibroids and also reverse endometriosis, adenomyosis, and other reproductive health conditions. I do that through my womb detoxification framework that actually helps women target the root cause of their fibroids, target the root cause of their endometriosis. And I'm all about root cause solutions and putting the power back into women's hands when it comes to their health and their healing, okay? I love what I do because when it comes to healing your womb, it's not just about healing your womb, it's also about you're healing your body, right? You're healing on so many different levels when you're embarking on womb healing. So I just want to make that very clear. Okay, thank you for the likes. Yes, as you are coming in, tap on that screen. Let me know where y'all are watching from. Okay, also on YouTube. Hi YouTube. Make sure that you click the thumbs up button and let me know where you guys are watching from. I would love to know. Okay, where y'all are watching from. All right, so are you actually healing your womb, or are you just performing wellness? Because there's a difference. I want to break down what does that mean to perform wellness? What does that mean? When you're performing wellness, you're doing things that look like you're getting rid of your fibroids, that look like you're shrinking your fibroids, that look like you're healing your womb, but it's not actually healing, right? It's like the appearance of health, but it's not actually the transformation. It's not you actually transforming the health of your body. There's a difference. So let me give you some examples. For you guys that like the supplements, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with supplements, right? I'm not saying, but buying a whole bunch of supplements, thinking that that's going to heal your womb, that is just performing wellness. That is not actually healing, right? You got the sea moss, you got the dim, you got the turmeric, you got the vitamin D pills, all of that. Your cabinets are stocked up with herbs. That is great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that is not actually what is needed to get rid of the fibroids. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, again, taking supplements or definitely taking herbs are great, but none of these things are going to help actually move the needle and helping you get rid of fibroids, heal your hormones, get to the root cause of why the fibroid developed, okay? So that's really important. Supplements don't dissolve fibroids. I recently did a video on that. So performing wellness, that's what it looks like. Like you may take a 3-day smoothie cleanse, you may do a detox, and once women do that, they are right back to their same habits. A lot of times, a lot of you guys, let me know in the chat, has this happened to you? Have you done a cleanse? You've done a detox, water fasting, and then maybe a couple days after you're done, you're right back to the same habits. So then how is this helping, right, in the long term? right? How is that? And I'm gonna be definitely debunking a lot of myths, because because of social media, a lot of people think that that's you. Okay, why, Jay? I'm happy. Thank you for admitting that your transparency, and it could be, like I said, we live in a world where there's it's information overload. There's so many wellness trends, and there's all of these things going on, right, when it comes to the health and wellness, right? And there's all of these supplements, there's all of these things to do. There's these lymphatic massages, and there's this and there's that, there's the supplements, there's the yoni steaming, there's this, and we get lost in that and not understand that womb healing is more than just feeling good for a few days, y'all. It's because I'm not saying that these things are bad. You may take the herbs, you may do the detox teas, and you may, relieve your bloating. You may feel better, feel good for a few days. You may sleep better, right? And I'm not saying that these things are bad, but what I am saying is that you do these things and you don't last, right? You take these supplements, right? They're not enough to actually heal the wound and get to the root cause of the problem. They're not addressing what caused the fibroids, why the fibroids are there. They're not addressing the real part. They're not healing, right? So you're just performing wellness, doing these wellness things, water fasting and juice fasting and fruit fasting, but you're not actually changing your overall lifestyle. You guys are following me? Hey, YouTube, okay? So these things are powerful. Fasting is powerful. Detoxing is great, but if you do it for 5 days and then go back to the same habits right after or shortly after, and eat the same inflammatory foods, the same alcohol and coffee, and live the same stressful lifestyle, suppress the same emotions that you've been suppressing, what did you actually accomplish? If you're going back to the same lifestyle that actually contributed to the fibroids, what did you accomplish? So that's something you have to really sit down and think about, right? You can't just think that you taking supplements and an herb is going to heal you. That's not enough to actually really heal. And when I say heal, I mean get to the root cause of the problem and get rid of the fibroids. I'm not just talking about just feeling a little better or just having one good period. You should want more than that. And if you're following me for any length of time, you definitely should, your desire should be to be fibroid free, to be, hormonally imbalanced, to be hormonally balanced, right? To have healthy organs, to have to be fertile as long as possible. That is, these are markers of health, right? To have healthy menstrual cycles. These are markers of health, not just feeling good for a few days, okay? So I want to reiterate that. You don't want to just perform wellness. You have to ask yourself, am I just performing wellness? Because I keep hearing women, I tried this, I tried that, and again, none of these things are actually moving the needle to get to the root cause of the problem. They're not actually healing. They're not actually doing the real work, right? So performing wellness, again, it's like, you're getting your facial, you're taking your walks, you're getting your lymphatic massages, you're doing your yoni steaming, but you're going to the spa. These are great, but you're avoiding the real work. You're avoiding the real work. Those things are great. They have their place. They make us feel good as women, great, but they're still band-aids. They're temporary relief. They're not actually healing, okay? Be sure that you guys click the thumbs up button if you're watching from YouTube. Performing wellness also looks like you're healing your womb for just 3 months, and then you treat it like a 3-month project, and then you go back to your same habits. That's another thing too. So when women ask me, well, how long does it take? You're like, do I have to embark on this new lifestyle? Like how long do I have to do it before I go back to my same habits? Or they say, how long do I have to continue on this? How long do I have to, once the fibroid shrinks, or I get rid of the fibroids, do I still have to continue this? Like I keep hearing questions like that. And when I hear questions like that, I know that we're thinking short term. We're thinking temporary relief. We're not actually thinking about healing. We're not actually healing. Okay. So, Elle, are you listening to what we're talking about? All right. Make sure that you guys like the video. Okay. So you may do womb work for three months, and then you see results, and then you just stop. That's not how we do it over here. You're not done. You're not done, okay? So it's really important for you to understand. So, and I'm going to be answering questions so that you guys can ask questions, but just make sure that they're on topic, actually. But healing your womb is not a project. It's not something that has an end date. Do you guys realize that? It's a lifestyle. It's a complete transformation. And this is why I'm not the most popular, because I'm not going to tell you, hey, you can just drink this drink and you'll get rid of your fibroids. Like a lot of people online are telling you, or you can just take this supplement and you'll get rid of your fibroids. That's not how it works. And this is why women get frustrated, because they've been doing this. They've tried all the things. They've tried the supplements. They've tried the yoni steaming. They've tried the castor oil, and they still have the fibroids. Not understanding it because you didn't get to the root cause of the problem. So when you're healing your womb, we're talking about you getting to the root of why your body developed these tumors. Your body did not develop these tumors out of nowhere, y'all. These are actually tumors in your uterus. And if you can grow a tumor, in one place, you can grow a tumor anywhere. So you got to take it seriously. So when we're talking about womb healing, it's a complete transformation of how you live, how you eat, how you manage your stress levels, how you process through your emotions, right? If you go back to your old life, the symptoms will return. If you go back to your old life, the fibroids will come back. Then what was this all for? You have to be brave enough to get out of your comfort zone. You have to feel brave enough to get out of your comfort zone. Because there's no progress in your old life. It's just going to be more and more sickness. It starts off with fibroids, and then more serious issues come about when you don't get to the root cause of the problem. And you guys know, and you've been following me, I always say this: if you have a reproductive health condition, which is an estrogen dominant condition, what does that mean? That means that we can easily get another estrogen dominant condition, right? We're actually at higher risk for certain type of estrogen dominant cancers. So I want to let you know what's really going on in your body. Fibroids are not just a uterine problem. They're a full body issue. It's not just a uterine problem. It's a full body issue. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, if you're doing these things, the lymphatic massages, the spa, and you think that that's healing, the supplements, and you think that that's healing, you're just performing wellness. You're not actually going all in. It's a different mindset when you're actually really healing your womb. It's a different mindset, right? So we don't want to just perform wellness and do the surface level work. We want to actually go all in, do the inner work, the emotional work, restructure our life, right? And also it's changing your diet is a big part of it, but it's not. Some people, then we have the other side of people that will do all the changing your diet. They'll do all the physical things, but they won't sit with their emotions. They won't ask themselves, what is their womb? What is their body still holding on to energetically, right? They will instead suppress their emotions instead of actually feeling through their emotions and processing them, right? All of the heartbreaks, the trauma, all of these things, they suppress them. They suppress them. Thank you, Tashira. The fears and all of these things, the anxieties, the stress, it stays suppressed. They don't actually bring those things to the surface. You have to understand that when it comes to fibroids, when it comes to like healing your womb, everything is connected, right? Everything is connected, from the emotional side to the physical side. So it's not even just, some people just, okay, they can do the physical part, but when it comes to actually the deep emotional work, they shy away from that. No, you can't shy away from that. It's all included. Okay, and I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm saying this, that you have to stop settling for surface level work and actually go all in. When your body develops a tumor, a fibroid, it's deeper than just a uterine problem. It's a full body issue. It means that your hormones are out of balance. It means that your elimination organs are not properly removing waste. They're keeping waste in. You have waste recirculating in the body. Your lymphatic system is stagnant, right? It's not moving out waste and filtering out waste the way it's supposed to. So it keeps your body in a very how can I say it, toxic atmosphere, right? Where diseases can come about, right? When other sicknesses can come about. This is why when you have fibroids, your immunity is lower. You're dealing with a lot of mineral deficiencies, including iron, right? So your body is not at its optimum level of health when you have fibroids. right? So it's not just a uterine issue, it's a full body issue. Okay, so why do women prefer to perform wellness? Because I see this a lot. Why do women do this? You have to ask yourself, if this is you, if I'm talking to you, why you have to ask yourself, why am I performing wellness and not actually healing, not actually going all in? Because let's be honest, when it comes to actually really healing, doing the real work, really transforming your habits, transforming your lifestyle, sitting through your emotions, changing your diet, all of these things, it's hard. It is hard. It's not easy. It requires you to change. It requires you to, and a lot of people don't, and not for a week, not for just a month. It requires you to change your habits forever. We think that when we're doing wellness that we are healing. We don't know what else to do. Okay. Thank you, YJ. That's true. Some people may think that they're actually healing. But I'm telling you guys that it's deeper than that. It's deeper than you just taking a supplement. It's deeper than you just doing a cleanse. I'm not saying that those things aren't good. There's still good things to do, but it's not the actual real work, okay? And for a lot of people, real change is uncomfortable. Because when we're actually really healing, it requires you to be honest with yourself. It requires you to, really sit with what you're avoiding. Okay? It requires you to not continue to numb and suppress things that you're uncomfortable with feeling. It requires you to face the things that you have not been wanting to face. Okay? YJ, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it right now. So, and that's scary for a lot of people. It requires more than just taking a supplement. So when it comes to actually healing, you have to be okay with going deeper. Because these are tumors, and some of you guys have large fibroids, multiple fibroids. You can't keep playing around and thinking that a supplement or a little cleanse is going to get rid of them. Okay? And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to we're being real here. We're being real here. So it is deeper than just you just do a little something, do a little cleanse, and or you think you take 10 supplements and you think that that's going to move the needle and healing your womb, and it's not. Because you have to ask yourself, can your body even absorb the supplements properly when you're dealing with fibroids, your body's overloaded with waste. So you're dealing with a absorption issue as well. So you're dealing with your organs, your liver, kidneys, all of these things, they're not working efficiently like they're supposed to. It's parasites. That's part of it. And real healing requires commitment. It's not just when it's convenient, when you have less time, you don't just heal your womb when you feel motivated. No. It's an everyday thing. You embody this lifestyle. It becomes a part of you. And there's people out there that don't want to commit like that. They want to be able just to do a cleanse and everything go away. And that's not how it works. They want to be able to just do a parasite cleanse and it goes away. And that's not how it works. Right? That's not how, and you guys have seen that. And I've gotten so many DMs, emails, and people telling me that follow me. I've tried everything, or the natural way doesn't work because they haven't really done the real work. These are not things that people that actually work with me are telling me. These are things that people that follow me online are telling me because they haven't done the real work. And also with real healing, you got to stop making excuses. You can't keep saying, I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start, when it's closer to summertime. I'm going to start, next month. I don't have the time. I'm busy. I have work. I have all of these responsibilities. Yes, I know. We all have all these responsibilities. We have all, a lot of you guys are successful. You have a lot going on, right? You have a lot going on, family. You have a social life. You have traveling. You have this. You got that. I get it. But when you actually embody the work, embody womb healing, it becomes a part of your life. And you're able to integrate it into your life. That should be the goal, right? So it's not that it takes more time. It's just that you are able to embody this way of living. And you see that it's going to serve you much better. Though you have a lot going on. You have this, you have that, you have work, you have projects, you have businesses, you have traveling, you have a social life. It's going to serve you to be at your best, to be at your best level of health. Because let's be real, these fibroids are holding you back. You're operating at half your capacity because you have fibroids. The heavy bleeding, the energy that is taken from you, the fact that it's draining your life force, the fact that it's something that causes you to worry and have anxiety due to, fear of your fertility, fear of other things going on, right? I know I'm speaking to somebody. So you have to actually, womb healing means showing up for yourself. It means you actually have to take your power back and show up for yourself. And it changes you. You guys, I have a video that I put out last week, about how I eliminated my 8-centimeter fibroid. Okay, this was a few years ago, almost 15 years ago. Okay, I eliminated an 8-centimeter fibroid. And if you guys did not watch that video, the link is on my YouTube channel. It's on my live stream section of the YouTube channel. Be sure to click the link in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, you also need to be on my YouTube channel, okay? So some women are also afraid of who they will be once they're healed. They're afraid of, because they don't know that woman. They're so used to operating, with scarcity, with, anxiety, right? With the lower version of themselves. Once they're actually healed, once their womb is healed, once they're actually living a lifestyle where they're putting themselves first, right? Where they're, living the life of their dreams. Some people are scared to step into that because it requires a different version of you. You're not going to tolerate the same things, right? You're not going to settle. You're not going to shrink for people anymore, right? You're going to enter the new version, the higher version of yourself. That's gonna look very different than the person you were when you had the fibroids. Completely different, right? And that may disrupt your current life in a good way, right? So a lot of you guys, you may have changed friendships. You may change, some of you guys even relationships. You may date different. Once you're actually healed and you're actually in your womanhood and in the higher version of you, and you're stepping into that, and you're how can I say, you have higher expectations, you have more boundaries, you're going to require a different treatment from people, and you're going to require higher people to meet you at your level. So your circle may look different, maybe not. I don't know, maybe people will rise to meet you there, right? But there has to be a level of detachment and really going all in. Okay, so what does real healing look like? Somebody asked that. YJ asked that earlier. I'm gonna tell you. So it's actually addressing the root causes, okay? Not just the symptoms, okay? I'm not Gen Z. I can't, if you asking a question, the abbreviations, I can't. Can you write the words, please? I don't know what WDYM, I don't know what that means. Okay, so it looks like you actually addressing the root causes, not just the symptoms. Not just because some of you guys, you will allow your doctor to put you on, like I'm gonna give you an example, tranexamic acid, which is a medication to stop the bleeding or clot the blood or whatever, due to the heavy bleeding. That's not healing your body. That's temporary relief, right? And as a matter of fact, these medications do more harm on the back end, right? You may get temporary relief, but more harm is done on the back end. More harm is done to the liver, the kidneys, and your body's already struggling with processing what it has to process. So then you put more toxins on top of that. So you're not just trying to shrink your fibroid. You're actually addressing why your fibroid came about in the first place, why your fibroid developed in the first place. That's real healing. You're not just looking at the fibroid as bad, I have to get rid of it. You're looking at what environment in my body had to happen before these fibroids developed? What's really going on? What's the deeper root cause? You're looking at the liver, the gut, because all of these things are backed up when we have fibroids. Your lymphatic system, your nervous system being dysregulated. You're looking at your hormones, right? All of these things have to be addressed before we can start to get rid of this fibroids. You're looking at your emotions and the things that you've suppressed and the things that you're holding on to. You're not just looking at everything separately, right? You're not just looking at your uterus saying that it's the problem. Let me take it out. No. You got to get to the root cause of why did the fibroid develop in the first place. So when we talk about really healing your womb, it's a complete transformation. It's a complete lifestyle, right? It's what you're eating every single day. It's not just you doing a cleanse, right? How you're managing stress, right? And not just for one day. Not just, no. How are you managing stress? And it's internal, but how are you managing stress day to day? Okay? How are you moving your body? How are you processing your emotions? Okay? It becomes your lifestyle. It's not something you just do a couple times. It becomes your lifestyle. It's not just a phase. And real healing is you actually doing the emotional work as well and the inner work and not being afraid to do it. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first, right? It's uncomfortable because a lot of times we've buried these emotions. We've buried and suppressed for so long. Not being afraid of them actually coming to the surface. But here's another thing too, not allowing your emotions and your trauma to run your life. Because sometimes that's another thing too. A lot of women who are dealing with fibroids are either suppressing their emotions or they're holding onto them so tightly. They're holding onto their trauma so tightly and allowing their trauma to run their life because they haven't really dealt with it. Okay, so sitting with the comfortable emotions and releasing them, because guess what? Your womb is not just the organ. No. It's also a portal. It's also your sacred feminine organ. It's also, some emotional vault, somewhere where you buried emotions, you've buried trauma, you've buried grief and anger and heartbreaks. All of these things you buried on a energetic level. Resentment. This is why when you have, a lot of times when you're holding on to a lot, you notice that your period is worse. Your womb is speaking to you through the symptoms. You notice that your PMS is worse. You notice that your symptoms are worse, right? You can't skip this part and expect to fully heal. They will come right back, or they just won't shrink at all. You have to also address the emotional side. And real womb healing is actually being consistent too. It's not just, again, taking a supplement and thinking everything will go away. It's being consistent. It's not just something you do for 3 weeks, 3 months. It becomes a part of your life. It's showing up day by day, day to day, month to month, putting yourself first until your body fully transforms. Okay? You have to understand that when you're dealing with fibroids, your body is not at its optimum level of health. When you're dealing with endometriosis, same thing. When you're dealing with adenomyosis, same thing. When you're dealing with heavy bleeding, same thing. Your body's not at its optimum level of health. And that's going to affect all of your bodily functions. It's your hormones. That affects your lymphatic system. That affects your liver, your gut health. So many different functions in your body, your immunity. So it's important that you realize that. Right? Large fibroids, several fibroids, you have to get to the root cause of the problem. You can't waste your time with these supplements I'm not saying don't do them and these herbs, but thinking that they're going to do the full work is not going to happen. And you'll come year by year, month by month, year by year, you will still be dealing with the same fibroids. Okay? So it's not also too, let me just say this too. It's not just about Googling things. There's a lot of time, the fibroid community, I love y'all. But a lot of women that, again, have fibroids, they will spend years Googling. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. They will spend years following every creator that talks about fibroids online. They're in every fibroid Facebook group, piecing information. They're on every YouTube channel that talk about fibroids, piecing so much information together. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting more information, of course, right? But there is something wrong with piecing just bits and pieces of information together. Move the needle as well. That's just going to confuse you because people are going to say conflicting things. And when you're just gathering information, because a lot of women just gather information, but they don't actually move on the information. They don't actually implement it. And sometimes it's because they don't know how to implement it in their lives. Okay, so it's important that you know that. There's a difference between you actually gathering information and actually implementing it correctly. Okay? There's a difference. Okay? So when you heal your womb, it doesn't just get rid of your fibroids. Let me just say that. It improves your energy and improves your vitality. It improves your how can I say this? You step more so into your purpose. A lot of women have found their purpose as they were healing their womb, because they start deeper parts of themselves, and they start to uncover the realness of themselves. They become more in alignment with who they are. They become more in alignment with who they are, despite what society says, despite the role they play in this world, right? My skin type has changed. It's now dry. I assume this fibroids. Am I wrong? When you're dealing with fibroids, you're dehydrated on a cellular level, so it's not the actual fibroid, but the root causes of the fibroid. So you could say that. So when you heal your womb, it changes your entire life. Okay, it's not just, like I said, it's not just, again, just getting rid of the fibroid. It's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. Okay, so we have for those that are interested, right? If you are interested, if you're watching this and you're saying, listen, I really want to understand and know, how do I apply this information to myself? How do I learn how to heal? How do I learn how to get rid of fibroids? The full scope of it. How do I understand and learn, how to release emotions from the womb, how to heal my hormones, how to acquire an actual plan to get rid of the fibroids, like a foolproof plan. Okay, and for those of you that are new, not only did I get rid of my fibroids, I've been able to help many, many, many women all over the world do the same. Not just shrink their fibroids, also eliminate their fibroids, get pregnant naturally after having fibroids, and dealing with infertility, reverse endometriosis, reverse adenomyosis, ovarian cyst, and so many more health issues. Okay, been able to help women get rid of fibroid bellies, and so on and so forth, uterine prolapse. Okay, so I love what I do, because I help women, again, remember their power. So why Jam, I can tell you. So, I'm going to tell you. So these are women that have worked with me, okay, or taking my courses. They've gone through the whole process. I've done it by, again, changing their entire lifestyle, getting to the root cause of what caused their fibroids to grow. And we're literally doing that. We're literally doing that in my 5-day live course in Fix Fibroids in 2026. I have a 5-day live course where I'm teaching women live on Zoom over the course of 5 days how to get rid of their fibroids, how to dissolve their fibroids. Every single day of the 5 days, we're talking about, we're talking about healing, how to heal your hormones. That's one day. How to eat a womb healing diet. That's another day. How to transform your entire lifestyle to match that of fibroid healing. So how to, again, because here's the thing, it's not just about what you eat, it's also your lifestyle. So we're going to touch on that, how to release emotions from the womb, again, so that your womb is able to heal. We're going to talk about that as well. And then the last day, we're going to talk about the entire plan on getting rid of fibroids, step by step. Okay, so that's going to be, on the 23rd of February through the 28th of February. No, the 23rd of February through the 27th of February. We've been going over, that's our 5-day, live course. That's in about 12 days. Okay, so for those of you that have not registered, be sure to register. Our 5-day live course is only $297. And once you join, you have the replays forever. We'll also have Q&A as well, okay? So once when you register, you'll have, so if you're not able to actually be on the Zoom call, you have access to the replays when you register, okay? So for those of you that want to learn how to get rid of fibroids, these are fibroids. You're not trying to continuously walk into 2020, continuously year by year. We're still in the beginning of the year. It's only the second month of the year. A lot of you guys could be fibroid free by, some of you guys could be fibroid free by the summertime, or even before the year's out, depending on how big and how many you have. If you locked in now, if you locked in now, okay? So you have to ask yourself, like you have to believe in yourself and believe in the fact that you deserve to be free of fibroids. You deserve to have a healthy womb. You truly deserve that, okay? So if you are wanting to join our 5-day live course in our Fixed Fibroids in 2026, this is for women that want to get rid of their fibroids in 2026, then be sure to click the link in my bio to register for our 5-day live course. Again, it's the 23rd of February through the 27th of February. If you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box for more information on our 5-day live course, okay? Is watery discharge a sign fibroids are shrinking? No. If it just comes out of nowhere, that's not one of the signs. As a matter of fact, no discharge unless it's of course around ovulation time, cervical mucus. Besides that, there shouldn't be no discharge. Okay. That's actually, discharge is a sign of fibroids. It's one of the signs and signals of fibroids. Okay. I also want to say too that if you want to work with me, if you want, and you guys can ask questions. If you guys have questions, definitely ask questions as well. If you guys want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, I have a 2-month intensive that starts March 1st that we're taking clients for now. Okay, and it's a $997 deposit that's due before the 15th, and which is literally in just 4 days. The 15th is on Sunday. By the 15th at midnight, that deposit is due. If you want to work with me in a 2-month intensive, it starts March 1st. That's if you want to work with me one-on-one to help you get rid of your fibroids. Okay, more information about that is in the link in my bio. My 2-month intensive is going to be inside of my Detoxify Your Womb program, which is the highest level way to work with me. Okay, so if you want to join the hundreds of women that have become not just free of fibroids, free of endometriosis, adenomyosis, free of fertility issues, let's go. Okay, let's go. For more information in the link in my bio, be sure to click the link in my. For more information on a 2-month intensive, be sure to click the link in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, be sure to click the link in my bio. If you're watching in my description box, if you're watching from YouTube, discharge comes from being anemic. Vitamin, it is a vitamin and mineral deficiency, but you don't necessarily. It could be that, but it's definitely a mineral and deficiency. A mineral and vitamin deficiency for sure. Okay, but you can have discharge and not be anemic. Okay, so there could be just a lot of toxicity in the body. All right, any questions? Any questions? So do you guys know the difference between performing wellness and actually healing your womb? Do you guys, and for those of you that are just coming in, the replay will be on YouTube, so be sure to click the link in my bio. And I forgot to mention, and I put this in my community tab on YouTube now, and also on Facebook. I actually have one of the posts that I wrote on the Sacred Womb Letters was about the 7-day womb reset. Okay, a 7-day womb reset. I wrote how to reset your womb in 7 days, right? It's not going to help you get rid of your fibroids, but it's going to help you, again, start the process. So if you haven't read that, the link is in my bio. Okay, Sacred Womb Letters. Subscribe to our Sacred Womb Letters. I also talked about, your period and fibroids, right? I talked about how your period shows you that you have fibroids, right? What to look for in your cycle, right? So if you don't understand what a healthy cycle is, if you want to see what the signs and symptoms that you're experiencing, what they actually mean when you have fibroids, be sure to read that also too. That article as well is in the Sacred Womb Letters. The link is in my bio. Hey Marsh, yes, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching from YouTube, like and subscribe YouTube and share it to somebody else. If you're watching from TikTok, also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our email list as well, so that you can know when I'm going live. Yesterday I was talking about how fibroids are related to how your fibroid belly, how having an enlarged uterus is related to your lymphatic system. So I put a lot of good, a lot of teaching comments. Hi, couldn't come but listening from work. Okay. Hi, chasing workouts. Happy that you're here. Okay, so I put a lot of good information out and teach a lot on the emails. If you subscribe to the email, there's also you also get a 7-day fibroid healing truth series. So be sure to subscribe to our email list if you haven't already. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe to our email list, okay? Does anybody have any other questions? For those that are just coming in, we're talking about are you actually healing your womb, or are you performing wellness? Because there's a difference. There's a difference between actually healing your womb, actively healing your womb, and actually just doing random things to perform wellness, right? Because again, we live in a society now, health and wellness is very big, but a lot of people are missing the plot on what it actually is when it comes to healing. So you just doing a yoni steaming, you just taking a supplement, that's not actually healing your womb. Those are great, don't get me wrong. You know, these are things that you can add to your regimen, but they're not actually doing the real work. They're just scraping the surface, okay? So I want to reiterate that. All right, thank you guys for the likes. Be sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and also to the email list if you haven't already. That's all I got. I don't see any other questions. That's all I got. If you guys want to watch the replay, it's going to be on YouTube. All right, have a beautiful rest of your day. All right, bye.